grow that you would like?
What fruit could we grow that we don't already grow?
Yeah, I think you have everything.
She likes mangoes, but we can't grow those. Avocados, can't grow them either.
As Americans, we're used to having year-round access to just about anything, from tomatoes and strawberries to avocados. But not everything can grow here, and that comes at a cost.
We're next to one of the biggest cities in the world, and that's where the crops should be grown. You know, they shouldn't be coming from the other side of the states or from over the ocean in a container that's sitting around and stuff. It should be, direct to the market.
The number of farms and what they produce for human consumption have been on a steady decline over the past few decades in the U.S. Instead, what's being grown is corn and soybeans, used for livestock feed and ethanol, or as cheap sugars, starches, and oils in highly processed foods.
In the U.S., we have nearly 1 billion acres of farmland. We have a population of just 330 million people. Yet, we're not feeding ourselves. We are wrongly focused on growing and exporting these low-value crops that are not feeding us. And then we're counting on other countries to supply us with the high-value, healthy food crops that we rely on.
These staple commodities, what soybeans and corn are called, have a special status, which grants them more federal aid. They fetch top dollars being exported overseas, and they're cheaper and less risky to produce.
At the end of the day, farmers have to make the decision of what to do with the land that they have, and they have to make a decision in terms of what they think is best for their family operation.
So why isn't the U.S. prioritizing more of what its population needs to eat? And what can it do to change that?
It's a chipper apple. It's proprietary to Locust Grove. Most handsome apple we have. Being it's named after me.
Chip Kent is a 6th-generation Locust Grove fruit farmer in Milton, New York, in the Hudson Valley. This is his son Sawyer, a 7th-generation farmer. Like most U.S. farms, Locust Grove is family-operated.
24, they planted the vineyard down here, and this one, and then the quince orchard.
The more than 200-year-old farm grows an average of 800,000 pounds of mainly apples per year. Though Locust Grove did not share their annual income, New York State farms bring in an average of $80,000 per year after all expenses are accounted for, something called net farm income. The farm also operates a brewery and a U-pick orchard in the fall. Locust has slowly expanded from 60 acres to 100 by acquiring other, smaller farms in the area. Farms of Locust Grove's size only represent 28% of total U.S. farms. The largest 2% control 42% of all acres. New York State saw its sharpest drop in number of farms and acreage in decades between 2017 and 2022. Net farm income is forecast to plunge nearly 40% in 2024 from 2022's record high. That's mainly due to rising production costs and a drop in crop prices. Specialty crop farmers, like fruits, vegetables, and legumes, record higher incomes on average, but they're high risk, high reward because they're volatile and don't get even close to as much government assistance as commodities. To remain in business, Locust has had to get very efficient with its crop, diversify, and expand.
We plant a lot of different things, so we can get away with, something failing. We've created more with the brewery here and adding the pick your owns, and if you stop and you lose interest or you get a little lazy, then that'll end. And then that's when the farm either gets sold to somebody else as a farm or it goes off to have houses on it. We could put up some really nice houses overlooking the river here. So it's like 2012, we added Woody's, our neighbors, Ed Wood, their farm. It was 21 acres on the north side. And it wasn't but a couple years after that we added Tabasco's.
Locust Grove's main source of revenue is selling at New York City farmers markets 4 times a week. Some fruit is also sold to winemakers. Everything else is used by the brewery.
Biggest stone fruit crop we've ever had.
Yeah,
Just
we had none the year before.
We had no plums the year before. We had a lot of peaches and a lot of cherries.
Operational expenses are continuously rising. Some affect specialty crops more than others. Fruit and vegetables are delicate, highly perishable, and labor-intensive. Farm labor costs are expected to increase 6.9% in 2024.
60% of what